Welcome back again, and we are back with a video to configure iDRAC on a beautiful V10K G4 Forcepoint Websense appliance. And this is the same appliance which we hooked up in our last video. I given the IP, I joined it to the domain.com, and yeah, it is running the AP web module, which is Advanced Protection Web Security. And when you hook up your VGA cable to this monitor and a USB keyboard, and you will end up in a screen like this. Just log in here, and yeah, punch in your password. This is the password which you use to log into the GUI. And here I am on the login screen, and we have nothing to do much over here. In order to go to the system boot process, we have to reload this. It means restart this appliance to go back to the setup screen. So go ahead, initiate the command reload. It will ask whether yes or no. I'm gonna type yes, reload it, press enter, and here we are back. System is reloading. It's gonna take a while to go through the boot process, and will give us the option to go to the system setup. Okay, let's give it some time. Sorry for the shaky video. Actually, I had to hold the camera in my hand, and probably I smoked. That's why I got that shaky effect. Never mind. It's still reloading, taking a while to come up. There we go. It's back into action. It's checking all the IP tables stuff. There we go. PowerEdge R430 is the exact Dell software Dell appliance version. And when this appliance gets shipped to the customers, okay, I will explain that later. We have to hit F2 to enter system setup. I just hit F2 and go highlighted. So it's gonna take us to the system setup menu. So what I was explaining is, when this appliance gets shipped to the customers, it's kind of a regular a storage a server. Okay, there is absolutely no DOMs created, as we tell in Forcepoint. It's just a raw appliance, and we make that ISO image USB bootable or a USB CD or DVD drive to boot this appliance, re-image it, and that piece of software is gonna make all those DOMs, web security, web content gateway, network agent, and stuff like that. So initially there is no partitions at all. It's just a raw storage server. By the help of that software, we are creating all those partitions, DOMs, and stuff like that. Okay, so let's jump into iDRAC. So we need to go to iDRAC settings, the number 1. You can use the up and down arrow to move it. Let's go inside iDRAC settings. Hit enter. Thinking for a while. System setup. There we go. So the iDRAC firmware version is 2.21.21 build 12, and we have to go to the network settings to assign the IP address and the gateway information. So the default is 192.168.10.102 or something like that. I don't exactly recall that IP, but yeah, the default one, you can only connect your laptop or desktop directly to the network to access that GUI. But if you're on a network on a different IP segment, you're definitely not gonna gain access to the iDRAC GUI. So we have to configure the IP and the default gateway so that you can access it from your desk. Let's go inside network settings, and there we go. The first option is enable the NIC card, and it is enabled. And this LOM1 is ETH0, which is the C interface IP, and the C interface is already connected to the switch port. Okay, so we do not need any additional cabling for this iDRAC. It's gonna share it, and we can later on change these settings if we want a specific interface when we log into the GUI. I'm gonna show you that. So failover network is none. That's the MAC address, and there is nothing much to change. Auto negotiation is on, and common settings. And here is an interesting option. This register DRAC on DNS. I enable this. I give a name to the iDRAC service, and this is auto config domain name. I disabled it. I manually configured it. This is my domain name, my lab domain. Let's come down. IPv4 settings. IPv4 is enabled. I don't want IPv6. Don't care about it. And DHCP, I have disabled it. I'm gonna use a static IP, and I have given the IP as 216 here, and my gateway and the subnet mask /24, and this is my lab DNS server. I was expecting that on my DNS server this iDRAC name will get registered, but that didn't happen. I did double check it. So IPv6 is disabled, and we are all good. So come down to the bottom and hit escape to save it. Okay, hit escape one more time, and actually it is already configured, so this didn't give us any option to save it because we didn't change anything. So if you are really putting the IPs for the first time, once you hit escape, that's gonna give you the option to save and exit. Okay, so this is done, and remember, this appliance is still on the middle of rebooting. Okay, so by the time you will not be able to access iDRAC or the appliance manager console. So exit out one more time, press escape, and you can confirm exit as yes. So it's gonna continue booting up, and you see on the top the iDRAC IP has been changed, and it is showing the configured IP. Okay, we are just waiting for the boot process to start, and this is the Zen 4.2.0-1 build. Okay, just a little moment, it's gonna start, and it runs CentOS on the appliance. There we go. It started mounting the hard drives and the swap drives. Interfaces are turning on. All are okay, green. Super. We're back on the same screen from where we have started. So this is done, and let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and verify the access. There we go. And if you guys have remembered, I have given the IP as the iDRAC IP as 10.50.212.216. There is absolutely no port number. Straight away hit this IP from the browser, and it's gonna redirect you to the iDRAC page. This is how the initial screen looks like, and the default password to log in, I had to change the password because it will ask you to change the password. So the default password to log in is root, and the password is Kelvin, CALVIN. The password is Kelvin. That's the default password, remember that. And once you log in using root and Kelvin, once you hit submit, it's gonna ask you to change the password immediately. I changed it already, so I'm gonna log in with my new password. I'm done. Hit enter. Valid verifying credentials. Okay, so we are done. We are right inside the iDRAC console. I hope this helps. And iDRAC is needed when we contact Dell for any hardware failures or something like that, they request you to configure iDRAC so that they can take some logs and stuff like that. So yeah, go ahead and configure this. This is pretty simple. And post if you have any questions on this. I hope this helps, and yeah, have a great day ahead. Take care, guys. Bye bye.